So hey y'all, I'm back with another video. So tonight's video is yet again another Chioma Chats video podcast edition. So by the title, we're going to be talking about designer fashion becoming a joke. I got the idea for this video because as most of y'all have probably seen, these big red boots have been trending all over social media and basically taken over in spring fashion for this year. So everybody has been talking about this. We've seen a lot of celebrities and influencers wearing these boots, and I find it very interesting how unconventional fashion could be this sought after. Well, the New York Times actually wrote an article on these boots, and they said, they're big, they're red, but are they boots? A New York collective known for smart alecky drops has once again captured the internet's imagination, this time with oversized red boots that look to be pried straight off of Astro Boy's feet. From the people who brought you the cologne that smells like WD-40, Birkenstock sandals made from Birkin bags, and Times Newer Roman, a font ever so slightly wider than Times New Roman, comes a wholly anticipated new release, the Big Red Boot. The boots were created by Mischief, a New York-based collective with a rich history of trolling consumer culture, sometimes doing so by selling consumer goods. Images of the boots, which are expected to go on sale next Thursday, have captivated Twitter and TikTok with their absurdity. It takes only a glance to understand why. The AirPod-shaped boots are globby from toe to ankle, at which point they jut straight up to mid-calf. They are a shade of red that can only be described as red, recalling Baby Bell cheese, clown noses, and Swedish fish. And they are smooth, too smooth, as if a pair of moon boots were pumped full of Botox. They look more like the idea of a shoe than a shoe itself. They are, in a word, cartoonish, seemingly by design. Mischief calls the shoes cartoon boots for a cool 3D world. Online, they have been compared to the footwear of the anime character Astro Boy, and of Boots, the helpful sidekick of Dora the Explorer. They began appearing on social media this month in images from a photo shoot featuring the model Sarah Snyder and on the feet of the Oklahoma City Thunder guard Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. On TikTok, they racked up more than 20 million views. Commenters mocked the boots, headlines declared them stupid, absurd, and divisive. So these boots have definitely trended in fashion over the last week or so, and although I understand the company's point of kind of trolling society with this outlandish creativity in fashion, I think the social climate that we're in proves that people will do anything, and in this case, wear anything to follow a trend. I have a degree in the arts, so I have always been fascinated by abstract art of any sort, whether it's a song, a painting, a sculpture, or fashion. So I do respect somebody being creative and thinking outside of the box, but I do think for a shoe that is basically basic, and the response that social media has given the boots shows that we do live in a monkey see, monkey do world. There's a lot of designer fashion that has either gone viral or trended or become super popular over the years, and when you look at the composition of whatever the item is, it actually really is mid. Like, definitely given I smoke Reggie weed, mid. So I thought it would be interesting to look at why and how some of the trending fashions that, in my opinion, have trended, have gotten gassed up, or have just been relevant in modern pop culture that is either ridiculous or overhyped. So I've broken this video down into two main talking points. So without further ado, let's get right into this video. So my first point is ridiculous fashion being pushed. So I thought it would be interesting, as well as entertaining, to review some designer outfits that celebrities and influencers have worn that have been downright questionable. I think it's comedy when I see celebrities gloat or flex expensive outfits in the name of quote-unquote drip, and the outfits being weaker than your bird chest boyfriend. I think celebrities and influencers directly cultivate the general public to showcase fashion that to them is avant-garde, and I'll get into that later in this video, but it's funny to see how much ridiculous fashion gets pushed because of the people who wear it. And I think a lot of it is done for attention or a look what I can afford campaign. It's also interesting to see the contrast of black celebs versus white celebs. Black people, famous or not, love to wear their wealth and mix together different outlandish designer pieces to show us what fugly piece of BS they've spent their above my tax bracket money on. So commence your dragging. I haven't dragged anybody in a long time. So to all my Philly people, y'all remember Asia Star grind time? Yeah, it's grind time, dickhead. Let's go. First, let's start off with these big red boots. These Clifford the Big Red Dog ass boots. My first thought was that they definitely give Monopoly game piece boots. Everybody was saying they remind them of the characters in Mario Kart. I definitely agree. I don't even understand the functionality of the shoes because you wouldn't even be able to drive in these. Then the price point, they literally retail for $350, and there's no way the average person is getting them for that price. So you're for sure gonna pay over $1,000 or more. So $350 may not be that bad because there are way more ugly designer shoes that are way more expensive, but still, hell nah. Them joints look like sewer skates. It's a hard pass for me. Next. Now, next up on this docket, I think these Balenciaga sneakers that Jada Chivas sported a few years ago was the epitome of WTF. These goddamn Charlotte's web-toed glove shoes then had the nerve to have this old school Nokia flip phone on the heels. The audacity. I think Jada can dress in most cases, but this would have been so much cuter with something else on her feet. I mean, who am I to say that? But I think most of us can agree that this is ugly. Now, next up, this Pepto-Bismol T-Mobile wireless mascot finesse 2 times. I don't know why he had on the pink Ashley Spinelli boots with this Peppa Pig piggy bank furry sweater. Oh, right, because it's designer. It's crazy because a lot of these rappers really cannot dress, and I hate that for their wallets. So I saw a graphic of an itemized list of the item pieces, and can y'all believe that this Patrick Star looking ass fit cost almost $3,300? Now, I know some of y'all are gonna say that I'm hating, but it's not even the individual pieces that are bad. It's the way how he put it together. Let's be real, this would have looked better on me. But the good thing is, when I say pretty pink pulsing, piping hot, punishing, put it on a pedestal pussy, this is the type of pink that I'm talking about. Next, we got one of my faves, NBA Youngboy, and the NBA stands for No Bears Anymore. Because clearly, every bear that roams in the wild in Utah or wherever he lives now was beheaded for the fur that is used on these Chewbacca boots that he has on. I'ma be real, the fit is clean, but I'm just not feeling these extended woolly mammoth moccasins. No, sir. The whole fit comes up to over $2,500, but the boots alone are the most expensive item, coming in at a whopping $1,100. Look, any beauty supply store in any hood that has a color 27 Yaki Kanekalan braiding hair would have been suffice enough to make a good affordable dupe. I'm just saying. Moving on. Oh, hell nah. I know this man Jack Boy don't have on the Lizzie McGuire flare jeans looking like a tablecloth after a 20-person Thanksgiving dinner. See, this one is just self-explanatory of how horrible this fit is. And for the jeans to be the most expensive piece at $2,500, that's crazy. Personally, I just think that the jeans would have looked better on a woman. I'm just not into flare jeans on short men, but it's the random patches and fabrics that's throwing me off. Money definitely cannot buy style. Next. Now, personally, I am not a fan of the Marine Sarah cat suit. I see all the rapping influencers girlies wearing this, and they really played this one out. Something about it just screams Goodnight Moon storybook, and I just think for $500, it's too basic. I always wonder if designer clothes are really better quality fabric, like this jumpsuit, for example. Is it stretchy enough for my big fat booty and me being almost 6 foot tall, or will it deteriorate in quality over time? I only own a few designer bags, and I will say the leather on Louis Vuitton is top tier, but I don't know about clothes. I don't own any designer clothes momentarily. All in all, Lotto looked like every other girl on Instagram with this outfit, and I hope they retire this exact piece. Looks like they about to go be the 4th member of Totally Spies. Next. Now, this one is actually ludicrous. I think Lil Meech gotta be one of the most controversially dressed celebs in recent times, because this blue Berenstein Bear fuzzy set got him looking like a turquoise pipe cleaner that we used to use in elementary school arts and crafts. I cannot. I like Lil Meech, but his fits be having me ready to throw a fit, because it just comes off like he's trying too hard to dress different. BMF must stand for busted moves in fashion, because why? And then the top and bottoms have the nerve to cost almost $2,500 in total. Nah, man. Again, I'm just not a fan on flare pants on some men, and I think less is more with these items. Sometimes I do like his little outfits, but he loves to match his tops and bottoms too much for me. He should just choose one or the other and pair it with something else, and I could maybe let it slide, maybe, but all in all, no. Because no. So I think it's safe to say that just because you have money doesn't mean that you can dress, and definitely doesn't mean that your fashion statements are going to be emphatic. I mean, I'm all for art and expression, so again, I'm not mad at what people choose to wear, but I think it's ridiculous how designer fashion is posed. I think it's ridiculous that crazy pieces of fabric are seen as a hot commodity just because of its price point and the person that's wearing it. I feel like the idea of a high fashion model is still a thing, but less effective because social media stars and celebrities have, in a way, hijacked the high-end fashion industry. I don't think it's wrong for people to promote designer fashion. I mean, I'd be a hypocrite. I have designer bags, but I think that outlandish and seemingly unconventional pieces is why fashion hasn't been the same in a long time. I think it's good for everyone to have their own style, but it seems like the fashion industry has become a breeding ground for people to either exploit their wealth or push trends that are actually ridiculous. Now, moving on to my second and final point, that is the behavior of modern consumers. I think it's safe to say that the behavior of the modern consumer consumer is heavily based on influence. I mean, I probably said that 1,000 times just on this channel alone. Many a times, the actions we make with our purchasing power does stem from what is put in front of us. And celebrity and influencer marketing has definitely driven this ideology over the past decade. I mean, I get paid to promote different companies here and there, and it does help with the exposure of their brands as well as increasing a consumer's tendency to actually purchase that item or service. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I do think that when an influencer or celebrity that you can trust promotes something to you, you take a more genuine approach to the reason why you're getting that said item. Because the trust and the knowledge is being given to you by somebody who you like, whether that's their content that you like or just who they are as an individual. The problem with that is that a lot of influencers are motivated by money. They don't have discernment on what to put in your face and what not to put in your face. I feel like for basic things like hair growth oil, a flat iron, certain fashions, and even services like meal kits and stuff are reasonable to promote through influencers. And that's because seeing a real life individual wear something or utilize something that could interest you kind of beats out the traditional means of promotion. Commercials obviously have paid actors, and people aren't really watching TV as much as they used to. And print media such as newspapers or magazines is technically outdated. But influencers and celebrities have been affecting consumerism with so much more efficiency than anything else. And I think because there is this prioritized pedestal for celebrities, especially in urban pop culture, it does have a trickle-down effect. And that really is blind consumerism. So my definition of that is buying something or having an interest to buy something solely because it's constantly put in front of you and promoted to be the next big thing, the most popular trend, or something exclusive. I think this idea of being untouchable and unattainable is the reason why blind consumer culture has gotten so bad, because people want what they can't have and what others see as special. Let's not forget, at one point, Balenciaga was pushing a designer trash bag. Yes, a designer trash bag. Literally an $1,800 trash bag that looks like a lavender-scented hefty, and it's supposed to be an accessory. It's literally a drawstring bag that is made out of leather and has a small Balenciaga logo on it. And in regards to designer brands, the price points are so out of reach by the average consumer that it's scary to see what people do just to have a bag that has a logo on it. Another thing I don't like is how there are designer hierarchies that come with shadiness and demeaning comments. Like, for example, if I have a Gucci monogram bag, I guess I'm in style. But if I have a Michael Kors monogram bag, apparently I'm a broke John who is still living in 2010. Even though they are both designer, and let's not act like Michael Kors wasn't a very raved about designer years ago. Ever since hip hop has served as the #1 genre in pop culture and music, this idea of designer brands being intertwined with the average consumer has been so relevant. And I feel like a lot of these designer brands don't even prioritize urban Black people as their target audience. And that doesn't mean that we can't wear their stuff, but that just means that they know that the demographic of people who can easily afford their items isn't the people who flaunt and promote it the most. I think as consumers, we just have to be more aware of buying things just because they are trendy versus buying things because we actually really like them. And there's definitely a disconnect between the two, because I bet you all of these celebrities pushing these big red Clifford the Big Red dog ass boots will definitely result in the average person going out of their way to actually buy something that is actually satire and actually absurd. I really don't see people taking these boots seriously, but we do live in a do anything for clout era, so it's not shocking to see how the modern consumer is easily influenced by trends that are downright ridiculous. So that is it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Please let me know your commentary on my commentary down below. What do you think? What do you know? Let me know. If you haven't already, go stream my song Ballin'. It is out on all platforms, linked down below. Stay tuned for more music. And last but not least, follow me on all of my social media networks, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye, y'all.
I said 34 B cup, 30 in a deep cut, 20 bad bitches, QTM, yeah, we up. 16 tops and bottles, man, I went and got my teeth done. 10 minutes with him, now his 15 minutes is cut. Never ever make a nigga think that he up, cause you a queen and I'm a queen, now shout out to Latifah. Security in the back, with a racket like Serena. Ex-nigga crying, laugh at him like a hyena. Like, damn, what you saying, daddy? Yeah, I know I got a fatty pussy, talking to him, talk my shit, yeah, I be getting catty. Play with me, I bet you won't. Fatty on his chest and now he calling me a stethoscope. Pink fit, look, think I'm looking good, incredible. Cutting niggas off, I'm coming through like a semi-colon mansion in the motherland. December come, that's where we going. Body hot, my niggas frozen, niggas put my